for us today.
Use your talent.
My talent is beatboxing and piano. I can do whatever's needed to be done.
Can you explain to the judges what's wrong with your voice?
Is that just because he's British, Ryan? Okay. Wait, why did he leave? Why did he leave?
Do we need to play his sob story?
Am I doing it?
Oh, yeah.
If anything less than cancer, don't bother.
I am from a small village called Kazakhstan.
No,
Just rap. Just rap.
I am very bored. I don't know what I'm doing. So I am here for the clout and I am very bad at rapping. I hate Star Wars. Bye. I think that was very good for making it up on the spot, and I feel like I will make my country proud. And also, I don't know if you can tell, I have a gun right here. And so if I do win, I will, you know what?
He said, I have a gun.
That's so related.
Hello, Dark Jedi. I compose music.
Probably better than the last guy. I only did 3 notes.
Let me try to see if I can pull it up.
You know, you're already kind of disappointing thus far.
I'm not.
Are you ready to go? Let's cut it there. Cut the show. I have heard better music coming from my now deceased grandmother that also had 4 strokes. We've heard what we've heard.
Does he go through? No.
I think it's good. I'm gonna say that. You know, it was really good that. This might be the guy. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
Hello, how are you guys?
We are bad because right now they all suck.
Right, I want to be
Better than
I don't think he knows the other one.
Alright, well, he's playing Yi Chan Yi on the piano. It's a Chinese song.
What else would we have expected? Oh, go on.
Are you ready? No.
Did he just rickroll us?
Yes, that's my talent.
Being a disappointment.
It's a yes for me. Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry I couldn't learn more of the never gonna give you up song. It's just I've been really busy on leaving in 2 days.
That's alright. Yeah, that's alright.
It went pretty good. I think Brian liked it. And Sands, and I'm not sure who else was there, but
Who do we want next? Should we have Mikey Knight?
I know I've seen his name a lot. I trust that he brought something good.
Can we all be a mean judge this time?
What's up with your vanilla face?
Alright, well, am I supposed to explain my talent?
Yeah, have you never watched a talent show in your life?
Hey, I'm subscribed to Clappy, so, you know, you can shut up. My talent is include sound. So, like, the first sound that I can do is backwards burp, is what I call it. It sounds like a burp, but it's really inhaling.
That's called choking.
Yeah, pretty much. So, first one is backwards burp. Well, how about the second one? I don't even know what to call this.
Smell it.
Is that a gerbil gets caught under a car wheel?
Used as, like, in a stop motion as, like, new animal sounds.
What else you got?
That's it, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god.
I'm not kidding. It went, like, good until I actually started performing, but, like, starting out with some insults and, like, being confident, that's what the best part of my thing was.
I have your video title, the worst Discord talent show ever. Unless the next 3 people are just fucking incredible, this is a...
Ooh, final one.
If it's not singing and it's not piano, I think I'm ready to give them the job.
Hello! Who are you? Why are you here?
Look, man, if this is anything competent, you're gonna win right here on the spot.
Now, this was the final act. The act that could save the entire talent show. And whilst I'm not a man of faith, it was really good to see this match win. But then, he did this. I'm so jerked. I really had to.
Promoting past progress kind of war. Brian was focused race as his twin says, he probably wouldn't be doing this if he didn't set some kids. Sam, remember when we replaced by back Sam? You don't have to be scared, nobody remember it. Rick Connect, original content, but still cool, because you're the only one with the real job in this call.
You know what? I think this guy should win.
Like, if every other talent is a 2 out of 10, this is a 3 out of 10. Can I go, are you actually going to be able to produce?
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst.
Everybody gets so cool,
Oh yeah.
Get him out.
Oh my god.
I subscribe to Log P. And howdy, England.
England.
I've ended bro, he's pissing me off because he keeps...
Ninjago is very, very expensive. But does it really have to be? I own way too many Ninjago sets, and I'm not going to be going to college because of it. But can you buy an entire Ninjago collection without going broke? Well, today I'm going to be trying to find out. I've got £100 in the bank and a mission to get the best Ninjago deals ever. The plan is to buy as many Ninjago sets as possible, and eventually end up with something resembling a Ninjago collection. But I also want to see what kind of rare sets that I can get, and just see how much money I can actually save when doing it. I'm a bit worried, so please like and subscribe if you want my dog Max to use this money. In order to find some incredible deals, I resorted to eBay, the home of some of the most clueless people ever, and a great place to capitalize on people's creativity. The thing about eBay is that you get a lot of people who list items without really knowing what they're selling. So in order to catch some of these fools as quickly as possible, I sorted by who they listed, and then I waited. Of course, there were some absolutely incredible deals. For example, this 9-set bundle from 2011 for only £80. If you wanted to buy each set individually used, it would cost you about £150. But fellas, I stayed strong and kept looking, because that would have taken up most of my budget as well. It was then at this time that I came across a really interesting listing. Set 9457, the Vampire Wrecking Ball. A set was £50 in 2012 and available now used for about 70, which is very, very expensive. However, fellas, I found it for £5 with 5 minutes of bidding left, and absolutely nobody else watching this item. I was beyond, like, mind blown by this. I think initially we should have put in £10, yeah. Then only after we bid one big piece of this, so fingers crossed that nobody else is gonna. 3 minutes, here we go. I really want to get this set in. Alright, we've got just under 2 minutes left, and I'm currently the highest bidder at £5, I think, so, 2, 3, oh my goodness, look at how awesome this set is, though. I mean, seriously, I can't possibly miss out on this bag, really. Alright, 1 minute left. This is close. Actually, I'm gonna take it up to 7 now, because, I'm gonna do it. And we want it. Come on, 2 seconds, please. 2 seconds. Come on, please. Oh my god, I'm insane. I'm actually trying to crack them. I'm cracked at eBay. What? So, £5 down and one of the best deals that I've ever gotten on a Lego set in the bag. It was time to continue the search. And eventually, I came across this absolute beast. The Lego Ninjago bundle. This came with 4 sets. The GBX from 2015, the Warrior Bike from 2013, the Blaster Bike from 2015, and Desert Lightning from 2017. To buy all of these sets used, it should cost about £103. And the majority of that price comes from the TVX, which costs about £63. The minifigures alone for this set sell for about £51, which
Stitch, do you want to help me do a giveaway?
Alright. I think we can you shout me out?
Hmm?
Can you shout my YouTube out?
You have like nothing on it.
I have a couple of vids.
Also, like, I can't really.
Why?
Because, I don't got any viewers. I haven't, like, used it for a while. I've been streaming for like 10 minutes.
Already streaming. Leave my inventory in my storage. You have. It says you have 0 viewers.
Yeah, I know. What
You
just
haven't
said.
started.
Hmm?
You started it, but I don't know. Okay, now imagine I was scamming again. I just took all of this and left, right.
Huh?
Now imagine if I was a scammer, yeah, I'll take all of this and leave.
I know it's open. I don't know why. Drop melees in here, drop weapons in the other one.
Wait, should I craft some running barons?
Craft anything, just put it in the slot. Like, you put melees in here, put guns in here.
I ran out of oxidize. Wait, what's this?
What? What are you doing?
I've actually never seen that running this night walker before. Gee, he's doing 1 year. Wait, Kevin, can you give me a mod? Kevin.
What?
No, mod.
I can't give you mod, I can't get Nightbot.
Why?
It's impossible. Like, because you have to go on Google and search up Nightbot, but I can't.
Why?
There's no such thing as Google on PlayStation for some reason. Literally.
You have to go like to the store and everything.
Huh?
Maybe you have to go to the PlayStation store.
You don't. Nightbot isn't an app, you idiot. What? Well, it kind of is, but like. Well, it's not really an app, it's a website.
You have so much things. Wait, does it matter what rarity? Does it matter what rarity, like what number the weapons are?
Huh?
Does it matter what the rarity of the weapons is?
What do you mean?
Does it matter if it's 130 or not?
Yes.
I ran out of oxidize.
Yeah, okay, but like, you can't make. No one's gonna go and take giveaway of 106s. Like.
I don't want to give it away yet, and they were doing. Oh, Savage is online.
And why do you care?
Okay, we have to go.
Okay.
Because I can't really do anything now.
So I give myself 7 days to see how long it takes to become a Lego user. This will take absolutely ages to do, so if you enjoy them, please do subscribe. Really help me out. And show everything just how cool I am.
My epic is on screen.
A car is one of the most simplistic Lego builds. It's 4 wheels, some glass, and pixels. Pretty simple, right? So under here, this is where I keep my Lego blocks. As you can see, it's perfectly organised. There's no mess under here. I'm not really sure how this is going to go, but I've got some wheels, and I've also got some red bricks. It's like a tropical red car. Here we go, guys. Subscribe. I'm going to be honest with you. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. In my mind, I thought, cars are pretty simple. Right. Alright, so I've been building for about 10-15 minutes now, and I think I've come up with something pretty epic, I would say. It's a Tesla, as you can see. It looks pretty good. It can have eyes. Yeah, I mean, there's no way to get around it. It looks terrible. I think I'm going to need a bit of help to try and get me on my way a bit. So I went to the most helpful place that I could think of, Twitter. Yeah, I chose Twitter. Of course, it's big Twitter. Everything is just so kind, warm, and supportive.
What the hell? I had 2 views now.
So I decided to do some research. I watched several videos about the ins and outs of actually kickstarting making a mock to get a better idea of what I was actually supposed to do. And after about an hour or so of making mistakes, there was really building on sets, placing, and just giving up. A clash with dozens of suggestions and ideas, it was like things, but basically, a lot of the things that a lot of people have been saying is as sort of like a starting point. So what I want to try and do today is have a look at trying to build a car again and see what's going on. Ghost Rider car because it can really easily be changed into any sort of car model, I guess. And yeah, I'm going to give this a go. And once more, I literally just right into the wall. Or as we call it, some circles, rage. This is the remains of the Ghost Rider car. It's just in pieces. And I came up with this car here. Honestly, if I compare this to yesterday, I think that I've improved quite a substantial amount, honestly. But what's more, I asked Twitter for their opinions on my build. They haven't even got some ingredients here. Look at the funny guy, you funny thing. Oh man, you really are a gangster. I think it's safe to say that vehicles really aren't my strong suit. So then, now, one of the things that I want to do during these 7 days is build one big mod. So I have my notes for you. I've also got a section there about mod ideas, and as you can see, I've got tournament of elements. It's kind of an idea that I've had for a little while now. So here's the tournament of elements set, and basically my idea is to get a couple more of these and sort of combine them to one another. I was also kind of thinking that I have a basic actually looks really, really nice. I think it looks really, really good just to put it together. And whilst, yes, this did look really nice and look great together, it's kind of process shut together. So I'm moving on to day 5. Day 5 was just more of a trial and error day by inside. Because I learned how to build towards having 1 or 2 blocks higher, which basically meant that any time I switched from the build, it just collapsed. But now I can learn how to build that developer thus far. So after about an hour or so of building and just jumping into it, let's just look them up.
Got that rhythm with my soul, my tears, oh, got that rhythm, boom, 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 boom.
So far, this is kind of what I've come up with. It's very heavily inspired by this picture, but I think this is looking pretty good so far. So my plan is to put it up here and into like the head of this entire set. So it was running in silver chair. The issue with this was that the legend just wasn't big enough to fit into the chair and this meant that I had to expand it ever so slightly, as well as add a backboard to make sure that the chair didn't just completely collapse. Alright, so we just did a bit of modification on camera, and then pull up collapse. So this, of course, meant that I had to extend this over so that you could absolutely see on this floor. And honestly, I was very pleased with the result at the end of these days, but there still remains one detail that I really wanted to add. Today is the last day that I have to get as good as I can. Alright, so I need to let my mini figures first. This is where I do all my show of mini figures. There they are. So after sorting through my minifigures, it was time to add them in. Here are the minifigures that I want to use. That's quite a lot of them. One piece of advice that I've read on day 1 about building blocks is to place each minifigure so that it's in some sort of scene. And well, I'm pretty happy with the end result. So on the stairs we got an Anaconda Warrior running.
That. Oh, keep it on.
So today, we're playing Sunny.
definitely did, but okay, like that Frostnite's the only thing that I really care about banner-wise, but save the world. So I'm uncertain whether or not I want to show my storm shield, but the only reason I don't want to is loading in is going to take a little while, and I'd have to chat through the entire thing. But I'd like to start with my locker anyway, and if I'm feeling like it, then we'll look at my storm shield defenses. If you're most interested in any of them, whether I show it or not, I'm going to link my video down below on how I need twine endurance, because that shows my entire twine, and that was completely untouched afterwards. We might have done we were making videos on this stuff, so I have a lot of things leveled up that pretty top because I am a weapons YouTuber. And the only thing I want to talk about here is I'm a weapons YouTuber and videos on this stuff. So I have a lot of things leveled up that nobody should ever max out. Like the cloud burst, for example, or the Coco 45, or the Crescendo. You might disagree with me on some of those. I'm not open for debate. I'm just
I got that inward muscle.
banners that you can trust. Oh boy, today we're going to be talking about the Storm King's Wrath. This is, I mean, okay, bold claims right out the gate, the strongest weapon in the entire game. And it's only second to my prayer coach. You should plug in the shop right now, code Vista, you guys check out. This weapon has been clocked in at over 10 million damage. I'm going to plug Tic Tacs in the description below because that is amazing. I'm not saying that's the highest you can hit. It's definitely not practical. He goes way more into it, but set it up right. This thing is a powerhouse, and I would never recommend double crit damage per rating on a weapon that fires this slow, 1.7 times, per second. But it is, 1.7 shots. But it hits for so much that it just doesn't matter. When I'm alone, it hits for about 300,000, which is actually pretty normal. I mean, the other powerhouse to compare to is the Metal Marauder and the Santa's Little Helper. So that's at 300,000, roughly 295, and the Santa's Little Helper is what damage is at 334,000. These are the other top tier rockets to compare to. The Atomizer's a different breed, okay? Like, it doesn't hit that hard on paper, but trust me, that thing's insane. I honestly think it's paper stats are fucking. The weapon is so amazing because it not only, like, on damage compared to the crit, it is a dead accurate laser beam, which makes it such an amazing weapon. Like, the Santa's Little Helper I mentioned hits more, as you can see, but this thing doesn't have to reload. It shoots about 4 times before, having to cool down just a little bit, and then you can run 2 of these, switch back and forth, and it's an amazing thing. Now, what the other weapons can do that I just mentioned, that the Atomizer can kind of do, is group damage. So if you charge it up for about 3 seconds, it'll shoot 3 beams, which jump to all the enemies around it, and you can hit upwards of 2 dozen enemies for, pretty each in their own separate lane, for over a million damage from one shot. So the energy cells, which might sound like a title. So this thing is a powerhouse of a weapon. In fact, I don't even think I can cut out this clip too much. I think I'm just going to let it play as I'm just defending this entire, whatever side of the map where they give me any traps. This Storm King's Wrath alone was enough to handle it all. And I wasn't even running a good loadout. It was a melee loadout, I was running the Ravager with it. The Storm King's Wrath doesn't even need too much to talk about. There is one thing that I want to discuss that's the opposite. So we'll start with fire rate. This is a personal preference. I think that shooting this weapon more often is a better way to go. I think you just, zap, zap, zap is nice to have, but depending on what you're doing, damage to this monster boss is really, really nice. I've tested it, and from my own personal eyeball, So, something pretty interesting happened today. We were, checking out the weekly items like we usually do, and what was that? The Guardian's Will has come back to the game for the first time since December of 2018. If you haven't scrolled down yet, I'll let you know. It is May of 2021, so it has been about 2.5 years since this weapon's release, and I am so happy to cover this because, honestly, this is a weapon I had never powered up before. I had it like level 88 as like an obsidian copy because it had this glitch where you could recycle it to Shadow Shard, and that was a thing we were screwing around with. I never abused it, we were just curious. Plus, lost a ton of materials in the process. That was it! That's the most I'd ever looked into the Guardian's will. I was told it was bad at the very beginning, and to be honest, it might have been, but I'm not so convinced anymore. So I'm not going to focus too much on the numbers here, but I do want to show the calculator. I'll try to link this down below, but up to about sort of in the fifth per swing, and not too many actually think of go run a new comp. This is obviously how it's performing. Output per break point. You draw attention to because I didn't expect this weapon to impress me. Luck for you guys, I didn't have it ready. I am running for the rest of the gameplay with the damage. People did and have to attack because double danger to further complete my point where it's actually doing more damage per hit than the Ravager even as a 144 copy. But you'll notice that my Ravager is having no damage perks on it, only with a crit damage. But the Guardian's Will has 2, and that's kind of the option you have here. In fact, I wanted to mention, if you wanted to go for a combo deal, you could actually do away with the damage, trusting on Paleoluna to give you most of the output, and you could actually put double movement speed and double attack speed to have a hybrid build where you're moving very fast, normally and in combat, and you're also doing tons of damage because of the attack speed. That's not something that I'd 100% recommend. You don't need it, but it is something that's definitely on the...
Hey guys, welcome back to our movie recap channel. In this video, we will be watching the movie called The Invisible Boy. So, let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The movie starts with a scene in a mental institution. In that place, a man can be seen sketching a map on the wall, and some people are keeping surveillance on him. As soon as that man finishes drawing the map, he collapses on the ground and dies. Then we see the evil person who was making that poor man sketch the map. We are then taken to the very place of which the map is made of. There we see our main character Michael, who is a 13-year-old schoolboy. Michael is a very unpopular kid in his school, and he has a huge crush on his classmate Stella. In fact, you could say that he is a bit obsessed with her. He secretly records videos of her in the class, but he has no guts to talk to her in person. Tonight, there's going to be a costume party, and Michael is also excited about it, as he wants to impress Stella. That day at school, a police officer comes to their class. She tells them that 2 of their classmates have been missing for days, and there are no clues to where they are. She informs them that if they know anything about the missing students, they need to inform the police. The police officer then goes to Michael and hands him his lunch. Surprisingly, she's Michael's mother, and the classmates make fun of Michael for being a mother's boy. Michael's nose starts bleeding, so he goes to the bathroom to clean it, but his classmates follow him there and start bullying him. He is so weak that he cannot defend himself. They take his money, which he had saved to buy a Spider-Man costume for the party. They beat him up and tease him for not having a father as well. Life, in short, is hell for Michael at school. After getting embarrassed at school, Michael returns to his house.
That's a Chromebook with built-in virus protection, so you can click with confidence. With no more of this, and a lot more peace of mind. Move along, viruses. Switch to built-in virus protection. Switch to Chromebook.
He has a little sister, who also knows that he has no friends. After getting his money stolen, Michael isn't sure if he can go to the party or not. Michael checks his box, and finds a few dollar bills. He takes that money to buy a costume. Michael wants something related to superheroes, but all he sees are spooky costumes. The kid calls out to Michael and asks what he wants. Michael shows him the money he has, bad-looking superhero costume. The kid tries to sell it by saying that it belongs to a very popular superhero, and he also reveals his Michael will get to know later. Michael doesn't have enough money to buy a Spider-Man costume, so he buys that costume and brings it home with him. But Michael doesn't look a bit happy with his appearance. His mother is home, and she asks what is wrong. Michael says that he doesn't want to go to the party, as he is afraid everyone will make fun of his superhero look. Michael's mother compliments him that he looks really different, and that's not a bad thing. After talking to him for a while, she convinces Michael to go to the party and impress Stella. He heads to the party, and surprisingly, Stella engages in a conversation with him. Michael gets happy and he thinks that after this, he might be able to become good friends with her. But the bullies from school played the video clips that Michael had secretly recorded of Stella. Seeing those videos, Stella is furious and she asks to click them. The bullies point to Michael and say that they got the videos from Michael's phone. Stella asks Michael if this is true. He gets nervous and cannot answer her. He tries to run away from the party, but everyone in the party blocks his way. In an effort to hide away from the embarrassment, Michael goes to the bathroom and locks himself in. The kids outside yell at him to come outside. Michael doesn't want to go out, and he is also angry at himself for being careless with his phone. He wants to hide away from everyone and wishes that he was invisible. Suddenly, the lights go out, and when it comes back, Michael is nowhere to be seen. Next morning, Michael wakes up in his bed. He takes his costume off and goes to the bathroom to brush his teeth. Michael then realizes that he truly had become invisible. He cannot believe his eyes. He checks himself in the mirror, but fails to see his reflection. His mother comes to his room, but she also fails to see him. He quickly writes a note and throws it in place for his mother to see. The note reads that he has left early to school. Finding the note, his mother leaves his room. Discovering his new power, Michael isn't sure what to do next. He covers his entire body and heads to school. He sees Stella, but he is too embarrassed to see her in class. He is ready to leave the school, but he changes his mind after seeing his bully. With his power, he realizes that he can do anything. He takes off all of his clothes and starts walking around naked. Meanwhile, the man has watched him undress to invisibility. He enters his classroom, and no one can see him. He steps forward to his bully's seat and takes the gun out of his bag. He shoots the gun at the teacher and makes it look like it was his bully who did that. He secretly finds his exam paper and starts to fill in all the answers. He goes up to his other bully and messes with him during his tournament match. With the help of his newfound powers, Michael was taking perfect revenge on his bullies. He even goes to visit the female washroom and watches them. I find it really hard to like this guy. Anyway, as he watches the girls, Stella throws a towel which lands on top of him, and everyone notices that there is someone watching them. Michael gets nervous, and he loses his power at the same time. Stella takes the towel off of him, and everyone starts to run after finding out there was a naked guy watching them. After finding this out, Michael's mother is really disappointed in him, and he has no answer to justify what he was doing. Michael's mother receives a call from her office. The missing children had sent a video message in which they say that they are running away from their parents. They want to live an independent life, and they end the message by saying to not look for them. Next day at school, a psychiatrist arrives at Michael's class. He was there to help the children understand the importance of parents and not make any mistakes in life. He was brought there so that no more children would run away from their house. Michael suddenly notices that his hands are going invisible. He quickly hides his hands, and when the psychiatrist comes closer to him, he leaves the classroom in a hurry. Michael goes to his house, and his sister sees him in his invisible form. She is about to scream, but Michael stops her and asks her to keep it a secret. He tells her everything about the superhero costume. His sister thinks that he has now become a superhero. Later, Michael hears his mother talking on the phone. He goes to his mother while still being invisible. He starts to eavesdrop on his mother. Not knowing that her son is sitting in front of her, Michael's mother continues her conversation, and Michael gets to know that he isn't her biological son. Michael was adopted by her and has loved him like her own son ever since. But Michael had no clue about this, so he gets sad and leaves from there. Being sad, Michael is lost in his thoughts while swinging. Stella sees that his swing is moving on its own. Struck by curiosity, Stella goes near him and sits on the other swing. The two of them start to chat, but she has no idea that the invisible person is Michael, her classmate. Stella seems happy to talk to him and asks to meet him again before leaving for home. Michael is happy that he got to talk with Stella. Michael thinks that he should tell Stella about his secret. If he tells her that he is the invisible boy, the two of them could be good friends, and he can redeem his character in front of her. He goes to Stella to tell her everything. But before he could do that, he sees that Stella is getting kidnapped. He tries to stop the kidnapper, but he is just too weak. Stella is taken to a lab, and we see that the doctors there are doing tests on her. We see people who are looking for a child who can be invisible. They didn't know who it was, so they kidnapped Stella to see if she is the one who has the power of invisibility. But after all the tests, they find out Stella is not the one they are looking for. They throw her in a chamber where there are other two children from her class who had gone missing previously. Failing to save Stella, Michael vows to save her with his power. He plans to charge his invisible power by wearing the costume, but he sees that his costume was washed by his mother. So, he thinks that the power of the costume has gone away. Michael is furious at his mother. He goes up to her and starts to talk to her angrily. He even tells her that she is not his mother, which makes her really sad. Michael goes out on his bike, confused about what he is going to do to save Stella. He then meets the person who had seen him when he first became invisible. That person tells Michael that he too has powers similar to him. He says that the power isn't in the costume, but is inside Michael himself. And Michael had these powers in him because he is his father. He tells Michael his story. Many years back, he was in Russia, where a nuclear plant had exploded. Due to the explosion, many people who came in contact with the radiation began to show supernatural abilities. The army then created a special team with those people, and the leader of that army was a very cruel person. He ran tests on those people for years to use them in the war. Michael's father was one of those people, and he had the power of reading people's minds. It was there where he met Michael's real mother. They fell in love with each other, and soon gave birth to Michael. But the army had plans to take away Michael from them and do tests on him as well. So they took Michael and ran away from there. They wanted to live like a normal family, but the army didn't let them. They chased them in deep forests and had no intention of letting them get away. They realized that they all could not run away from the army. So Michael's father took Michael with him, and his mother stayed behind to stop the army, and she was killed in that fight. Knowing that the army will come after him as well, Michael's father decides to leave Michael to his adopted mother. Since he has the power to read people's minds, he tells Michael that his adopted mother is a really good person. He then gives Michael a suit, which will allow him to use his power with more control. Michael's mother finally manages to find him, and tells him to never run away from home like that. At home, Michael opens the suit given to him by his father. He is ready to wear and test it out, but he gets a visit from the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist was there to understand why Michael was behaving strangely for a few days. But the questions he asks suggests that he knows about Michael's secret. He wants Michael to admit that he has supernatural powers. Feeling weird by him, Michael storms out of his house, but all the doors are locked. Michael locks himself in a room, and the psychiatrist is trying to force his way in. But Michael quickly wears his suit and gets invisible. The psychiatrist fails to see him, and Michael makes his escape. Meanwhile, Stella and her friends start to talk about why they have been kidnapped by those people. They all have their own assumptions about it, and Stella says that they cannot stay still and do nothing. She makes a plan to escape out of the room. With the help of her friends, she manages to climb up to the chamber and get out of it. She sees that they were in a ship, and she also spots an old man lying on a wheelchair. She climbs to the top of the ship and turns the huge light on to send a signal for help. Michael sees that signal and goes to save her. At the same time, Stella is caught again. Michael reaches the ship and manages to beat a few of the bad guys. He opens the door to the chamber where Stella was kept captive. He saves his friends and also reveals his identity. Stella gets happy and asks him to follow her. She says that she wants to save more people from the ship. Being stupidly in love with Stella, Michael follows her and even hands her a gun for her safety. But Stella leads him to the bad guys. Michael is confused to know why Stella did this, but he sees that the old man in a wheelchair was controlling everyone in the room. That person had the ability to control any person when he touched them. That person takes everyone in a submarine and wants to do experiments on Michael to possibly steal his powers. Meanwhile, Michael's mother reaches the ship and finds the psychiatrist. She asks him about where her son is, but since he was controlled by the old man, he tells her that he knows nothing. Fearing for the life of Stella, Michael gets angry, and he finds out that he has another power. He has the power of controlling objects. With his newfound power, Michael takes everyone out and manages to lock himself in a chamber with Stella. He ejects that chamber out of the submarine and finally manages to save Stella from the bad guys. Michael's mother is also there. Being the stupid kid he is, Michael shows off his powers in front of everyone. His friends seem impressed, and his mother is in shock. Stella also seems to have fallen for him. Michael's mother is concerned for him after knowing his superpowers, but then he sees his father and follows him. After meeting his father, he gets told that he shouldn't show off his powers like that. Once people find out about his powers, more and more people will be after him and his life. Michael, however, wants the glory of being a superhero. He tells his father he doesn't care if people know about his powers. His father tries to make him understand that living a life like that can be dangerous for him and people around him. So, Michael agrees to keep his ability a secret. Michael's father, with his power, erases the memory of everyone who saw Michael invisible. Fast forward, no one has any idea how the missing kids were saved and who took them. They remember absolutely nothing from that incident. They assume that Michael's mother probably saved everyone and somehow lost her memory. Michael's mother is praised for her work. Back to school, life is back to normal. Tells him to not bother him anymore. He meets up with Stella, who has forgotten about Michael's ability. The two of them talk, and Stella has forgiven him for his previous antics. The two become good friends, and the movie ends. Thanks for watching.
Very boring.
you gotta do. And I don't believe that anybody.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Hey,
What do you think you're doing?
Wonderwall, Oasis.
Right, yes,
Thank you, man.
I know that it's Wonderwall, I know the song, I mean, what are you doing busking here? I'm already playing over there.
Wednesday morning. I'm here every Wednesday morning.
Oh, no, no way, not on that, not on my watch. We've got to say no, okay? I've been here since 6 a.m., okay? So you, and whatever this is, can go somewhere else.
This is my spot. I'm not leaving, man.
We'll see about that.
All right. Yeah. We will see about it.
Will we?
We will. Fine.
Wait.